Good day, humans. Start by looking at some x-rays, shall we?
Here's a good one, the break of the pelvis. You also kind of see the break in the vertebrae. Here's an initial one of the hip, so you can see a break there and down here as well. Yeah, particularly a good image. You can see the break in the tailbone that follows through the break in the vertebrae right there. Clean break on the tailbone here, all along here. And there's a break on the vertebrae. There's the pelvis break. Alright, here we have my pelvis, as you can clearly see, and the two bolts that they put in there to hold my hips together, and the plate and screws they used to bolt the bottom of the pelvis back together where it broke. And here you can actually see the staples that are holding the incision closed. Another good image of the bolts, the plate, and staples. You can also, on this one, you can see the staples on my hip as well. The smaller incision they used to insert these bolts, and then the big incision is what they use to gain access to put that plate and screws in.
Incision's healing up nicely. All in all, I've actually been incredibly lucky. Most injuries of this magnitude, the prognosis isn't quite so good. I'm healing very well. I don't have any nerve damage in my legs. They're expecting me to potentially be back at work and climbing in 6 months. In the past, before they had surgeries like this, they would have just tossed me in a body cast for like an entire year, which is what used to happen. So I've been, on many levels, incredibly lucky. The back break and tailbone break was worse than I originally thought. Saw the orthopedic surgeon that did the actual surgery and the spinal doctor since my last update, and he was showing me all the imaging, and yeah, it was pretty bad. I don't have my brace on. He said pretty much, since I'm not walking around, it's pointless, so I don't even need to wear it. That's more for if I were mobile. But since I'm stuck in a wheelchair anyway for the pelvis, it'll just heal alongside the pelvis. In about 4 weeks, I go back to start physical therapy. I don't believe I'll be out of the wheelchair by then. That'll be a good stepping stone on my way to completely recover. Also, the orthopedic surgeon said open pelvis fractures, the people that get them, about 75% end up having chronic health issues with bladder incontinence, chronic pain, bowel problems, sexual dysfunctions. There's just so many that could potentially happen, but thankfully I'm healing up 100%. I haven't come across any issues like that yet, and hopefully I don't. As far as the injury, I'm as good as can be. I did have to rearrange the room, even with my midget stripper pole with my bed right there. It was just too much pain rolling on my left side, because that's the side that broke. So I rearranged. This way I can go. Jesus, Gibbs. Poor guy. He's not the most agile. But with my bed here, I can roll on my right side. I couldn't have his playground there, so we bought him a new playground, because my first night with the bed over there consisted of Gibbs standing on the bed with his front paws up on the windowsill, and his tail was just all night long. I was like, no, this isn't going to work. So my first time actually out of the house since the surgery was going to Petco to pick up this climber, since I obviously couldn't build one like I built the other one. What really sucks is about a week ago or so, my 2-year-old niece, Brooklyn, fell while playing with her cousins and pretty much like curb stomped herself on a cement flower planter and just busted her whole mouth up. It's horrible. She can't even close her mouth, hardly speak. It didn't break her front teeth, but it took and bent them back to where they were like flat against the roof of her mouth. So even as she was in excruciating pain already, what they had to do with the dentist was have parents hold her down, and the dentist actually like reached in with his thumb and bent them back out. So she's not been very happy. The Gofundme, ridiculous. There's like $2,200 in there. So thank you very much. Much appreciated. What I need now is, that's not money I wanted to just use for myself. So far, workers' comp has been great. Since that's money that you guys gave, I would like to hear what you would like to see on the channel reviewed. I've only got 3 things so far. The Monkey Beaver Speedline Kit, very excited to get one of those. To the gentleman, I couldn't find the email, I think I maybe deleted it. He was wanting to see a safe block, definitely coming up. Also going to be doing one of the new notch gear bags. But that still leaves a whole bunch of money left over for whatever. So, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what it is you'd like to see reviewed or played with, and I'll do my best to get it all in. Of course, I'm not going to be climbing with anything anytime soon, but I can get them and play with them a little bit in the garage. Speaking of the garage, it's nice. My dad built a ramp in the back since I'm going to be in a wheelchair for a long time, and I now have access to the garage, so I can fiddle around with little projects. Can't do anything big, but my buddy Joe's got a 020T, needs a new carburetor, so I'm going to order that for him Monday and do that for him, and just work on little stuff. So my YouTube has doubled in size because of this video and the Dan video, and I almost kind of wish it hadn't, because before it was mainly tree guys, and now I get so many trolls and everything. But just to clarify, my Hammer&Sickle tattoo, the Hammer&Sickle was a symbol before Russia became a communist state. It was created during the Russian Revolution, the sickle being a representation of the peasants or lower class, the hammer being a representation of the tradesmen, pretty much the proletariat. And so it's a symbol of the people, and because communism, grabbed it as their own, whenever people see the Hammer&Sickle, they automatically associate it with communist ideology, and that's not what mine is at all. I don't really follow politics anymore because it just depresses the shit out of me, but I am for the working man. I don't feel like there's any reason why someone who works a 40-hour-a-week job shouldn't be able to provide for their family. That's just the way I feel. So no, I'm not a communist. I am a socialist. For everyone that called me a filthy commie, I'm not. So I think that's really about it. To everyone who gave me support and gave me their prayers and whatnot, thank you very much. I appreciate it. To all the trolls, I'll just continue ignoring, because that's how you deal with trolls. Just going to keep plugging away day by day, taking it easy, healing up, just waiting for the day I can get back up in a tree. A lot of people have asked if I want to get back into climbing once I heal up, and honestly there's nothing I'd rather be doing right now than climbing. I can't wait to get back to it. It kind of sucks because every time I come outside, I've got these giant cottonwoods behind the house just laughing at me. Bastards. Have a good one, humans. Mr. Gibbs doesn't seem to understand how much it would suck if I ran over him with the wheelchair. So anytime I move, I have to make sure he's not directly underneath me, because he likes being under the chair.